Ladies and gentlemen, welcome out to the Kuma Cave. We enjoy you coming into our dank den of sin and listening to our sweet, sultry voices as we, and when I say we, I'm talking about me, Trippy Haps, otherwise known as Terrence, and then the man to my left.
I'm still trying to figure out why we're dank.
That's not an introduction.
Oh, I'm the Anime J. You can call me J. But why are we dank? Why is our cave dank?
Because you're very moist.
I'm not moist right now.
You're liquidy.
We literally just got done spring cleaning, and we're like, oh, our dank ass cave.
Yeah, our dank ass cave because we got that dank ass kush.
Pat, where you at?
I mean, I'm here. I wasn't going to interrupt the comedy gold that was happening.
Such gold.
I am the Frizzly Bear, a.k.a. Patrick.
And we... please, go ahead. You got more.
And I'm coming at you from across the internet.
Woo! He's coming from across the webs because we're still practicing social distancing, even though, he was supposed to be here, but he had to watch some dogs, and dogs are very important to our society, so you should always watch them when you have to.
Agreed.
You
also, did you make
they're
reference?
Outside barking right now.
I mean, why wouldn't they be?
You say we can't hear it, but I did hear them barking. I can hear them barking
big.
now. Yeah, but it's okay because everybody loves dogs.
They're big fans.
Good. Oh, see, good. But yes, the three of us together, if you should see on this YouTube channel, or maybe once this gets uploaded to other sources, we are not your average otaku. We call ourselves this because we are three grown men who have been anime fans for many, many, many years. A little bit of varying length between some of us, but we have all made anime a big part of our lives. And
it's going to be varying lengths between different people.
Are you talking about penis stuff?
No, you were talking about weed stuff earlier.
Who's talking about weed stuff?
You.
I've never smoked weed a day in my life.
Yeah, neither have I.
That's a blatant lie.
I'm about to say, that's your one claim. You can claim to be the coolest one of the three of us because you have.
Yeah. Jay's a dank, I don't know, what's more weed smoker terms?
Don't know. I don't smoke weed like that.
You're a dank, kush smoking, reggaeton,
huh?
No, most people who listen to reggae music definitely.
Are you stereotyping?
Yeah, I'm stereotyping so hard right now.
Super stereotyping.
Like I don't even care. Like
I don't really like reggae music like that.
I've heard you listen to it when you're high.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say, I've listened to you get high, and that it sounded like reggae music.
I mean,
it kind of did.
I'll just be in here cooking my dinosaur chicken nuggets, high as shit, and I'm just like, yeah.
Hey, look, you can cook all the dinosaur nuggets you want. I mean, that's pretty much your high food, and I appreciate that about you.
I mean, that's my low food, too.
No, fair.
I'm about to say, again, talking about stereotypes, I'm pretty sure dinosaur chicken nuggets cooked by a grown man is a stereotype of people who get high.
You know what? You're absolutely right.
Wow, maybe I live a lot of stereotypes, then I don't actually do anything.
Now you hate mayonnaise, so
that's true.
It's got to balance.
To be fair, I live different stereotypes. I love Kool-Aid, watermelon, fried chicken.
Shit.
I mean, to be fair, Jay has a black soul.
I'm just saying. I remember.
I wish there was a video element to this.
Okay, yeah. So for video element. So people know, Jay is a white ass whitey. He is a very Snow White pale man, and I am a very chocolatey, caramelly, weird tone in between, like dark skinned and light skinned. I'm that perfect mix.
All I'm hearing is you just haven't been outside in like a year.
I mean, yeah, I'm not going to sit here and lie and act like I'm the most active person in the world. I'm
sitting here with wind blowing through my hair, my shirt off, getting nice and dank in front of this monitor.
Stop smoking weed in front of the monitor,
First
shirtless,
off,
you damn hippie.
Why is he just walking around like Fabio in his damn house? Just wind blowing through his hair. Better watch out. Fabio got hit in the head with a duck.
I got no one to impress right now, so my shirt's off.
Hey, fair enough. But I also want to point out that like I mentioned earlier that that at least the two of us here are older. You ain't gotta bring up Fabio and like date us because Fabio ain't been shit since like the 90s, and now you're really dating us pretty hard. Oh my god, it was a doorbell. Somebody's coming to kill us.
The 90s are here for their reference back.
They're coming to kill us.
I mean,
they're coming to take us away. No,
okay.
That's food. We needed food, and we ain't going out into all that.
Let me ask you
madness.
something. Let me ask you something, Trip.
Yes.
Do you know who Fabio is?
I do know who Fabio is.
All right, Patrick, you baby ass bitch.
Yes, I know who Fabio is.
Exactly. Now shut up.
Look, I'm just saying, for those who don't know, Fabio was a male model back in the 90s, and he used to be on all the romance novel covers. That was like his main claim to fame. That's how he became like the sex idol of the 90s, because all the women used to see him on the cover of like the romance novels, the smut.
Just
just
imagine a more jacked version of Patrick. And you
have
Fabio. Like, legitimately, they have all the same features, except
What's
Fabio's just
hair?
a little bit more buff, just a smidgen.
And blonde. Fabio is very blonde.
Pat's a dirty blonde-ish.
Nah.
My hair color is the topic of many debates, and it is not the topic of this one.
You're right. Your hair color is not up for debate right now. We're talking about how old we are because we're talking about Fabio. And we literally just had like a 3-minute conversation about Fabio.
Yeah.
So
I just like how you're trying to like rope me into being as old as you guys too.
No. Patrick
I was making a point that
Patrick is still enjoying his 20s.
I was making a point that his young ass knew who Fabio was.
Oh, correct. Yeah, he does know who Fabio is.
Also, again, I'm going to reiterate, if we're going to tell people who Fabio is, his most famous moment in his life was he was like premiering like a roller coaster, and he got hit in the face with like a duck.
Was it a duck? I thought it was a bird.
I'm pretty sure it was a duck.
I don't know. That's his most famous moment. Because when I think of him on a horse on a beach.
Yeah, I think about with a duck in his face.
I mean, I don't even know. I feel
I know he was riding a motor.
What is... Why are you having issues with roller coasters today?
Look, my brain is not working right now.
Jay's been through like 8 brain surgeries this week, so forgive him.
It's been a long week.
My suggestion to you, Jay, is once this gets fixed, because this is you, something else bad is going to pop up. If it's not that bad, just let that one ride, because if you get that fixed, then something else will take its place, because that seems to be the trend.
I mean, yeah. I think 2020 just wants to beat me.
So apparently it was a goose.
Yeah!
But it's just the fucking one article I saw. It says it's been 20 years since Fabio killed a goose with his face. It's so fucking mean.
That's great. That's fucking wonderful.
So should have been the final boss of Untitled Goose Game, is what you're telling me.
Oh man, Fabio's face showing up, that would have been so perfect.
Let me ask you this.
Not his face, because that'd be a JPEG, and it might spook some of our podcast hosts.
Oh, really? We're doing that?
And you can check the Anime J getting spooked by JPEGs on twitch.tv/NYAO live.
Yeah.
Monday through Friday, 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. EDT.
Well,
enormous dick time.
And also 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. EDT, Monday through Friday. And on the weekends, usually around 9 or 10.
Yeah, something like that. Whenever I feel like it.
Yeah, usually 9 or 10 p.m. So, yeah. Check us out.
Check it out.
Please.
Yeah, check us out. Like, it's fun. Like, the chats are always fun. You'll love it. It's a good time.
Though, as of the way it is right now, odds are you're finding this through that. So, who knows? Enough. You've probably already been there.
Fair enough.
Maybe a way around. You don't know.
You don't know. You are correct.
You are correct, sir.
So, gentlemen, as we've mentioned earlier, we are anime fans.
I am not gentle.
Well, rough men.
Oh, I like the way you said that.
Please, no, stop.
Hey,
all right, gentleman and rough man.
Ooh.
Does that work?
Yeah, I like it.
A little division of character here. Yeah. So we talked about how we are anime fans. Let's let the people know basically how and why with what our first anime series was. Because mine is a series that I still hold near and dear to my heart. I still try to buy collectibles and stuff in the series because while it may not age completely well and is used for a lot of joke material for me these days, Sailor Moon was my first love, and I must say that show, it had a huge impact on me as a child because I wanted to be Tuxedo Mask.
Oh,
And one of the reasons why I say, as an adult I make fun of it now is because I realize Tuxedo Mask is literally useless. But
what are you talking about? He's literally there to do the most important thing.
Distraction?
Yes.
You're
They
right.
would not be able to hit a goddamn thing if he didn't draw their attention away.
You're right.
Because they're
Correct.
all useless. They would just walk around whiffing.
Whoa, hey.
Like,
Jupiter.
literally the show would be, watch me whiff,
Jupiter is not
watch
useless.
me nay-nay.
Stop it.
That is how it would go.
Jupiter and Venus are not useless.
Excuse me, Mercury is not useless. Because
I
of
think
the
you
Oh,
meant
wait.
to say-
I meant to say Mercury. I hate Venus.
No, I think you meant to say Jupiter.
Get out. You're now making references to all that and dating us again. Stop dating us.
Was that all that, or was that Amanda's show? I don't remember.
That was all that because that was Kel's character. Like
okay.
I think it was called Lump Maroon, where he wore like the fucking the red pajamas that that had the butt flap on them.
butt flat.
I don't know. It was mainly before my time. Got him.
Now it's time for Ask Ashley.
That's me. Now see, that was Pat's show right there.
I mean, that was before Amanda Bynes went crazy.
That was like 20 years before she went crazy.
Yeah, well, I don't know. She's been crazy for like a good 10 years now.
First off, I'll have you know that. What was that movie? She's All That? Was that the one where she played soccer or whatever for her twin brother? Yeah, that movie was dope.
It was
It
pretty
wasn't her
good.
brother. No, her love interest was like Channing Tatum in that movie, if I remember right.
I don't know.
Before he was like famous.
First of all, I would like to interject. I believe it was She's the Man.
She's the man. What did I say?
Man.
She's
She's
all
all
that.
that.
Oh, She's All That.
That is where the nerd
Freddie
gets
Prinze.
hot.
Yeah, that's the Freddie Prinze Jr. movie where the chick was already super hot, and then apparently she took off her glasses, and it was like she became hotter, and it
And
was
to be
like,
fair-
this is dumb.
to be
She was
fair-
already hot.
She was hotter with the glasses.
That's what I'm saying. Like, she was already super hot, and then all of a sudden they were like, oh, take your glasses off. Oh my god, you're actually a hottie. No,
So,
no.
Pat, what's your first anime?
I wasn't done.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm about to
so
say.
Terrence, what's your first anime?
So that Sailor Moon was probably one of my first series, but I
She's
think
All That was
before
pretty
that,
fucking
shut up,
good.
shut up, stop talking about Freddie Prinze Jr.
Never. He writes for wrestling.
No, he doesn't. He used to. You're living in the past, brother. So I think my actual first anime series was probably Samurai Pizza Cats. And I'll tell you, I loved that show when I was a kid because it was the dumbest thing. Literally, the main character's name was being a samurai who fought, like the aliens or whatever it was in that show. His name was Speedy Cerviche.
First off,
You know,
best name ever.
It's a really good name for like an old ass cartoon like that, and I love Samurai Pizza Cats. It's just that Sailor Moon holds far more of a special place in my heart because Samurai Pizza Cats is. I do own the Blu-ray now. I think. Did you get it for me, or did I get it myself?
I got it for you for
Yeah, so you
your
got it for
birthday
my
or
birthday.
Christmas.
So I've got to actually go through that show, but Sailor Moon I could still watch like all the time, except for Crystal. I didn't like that one, but
Also, Sailor Moon, if y'all don't know, all of it is on Hulu right now.
yeah, you actually watch
So
all of it on Hulu.
if
Plus,
you have
get
Hulu,
the-
you can check it all out.
Yeah, get the Viz collections. Like they're pretty cool because they have like little art books that come with them. Like they're like like not like high maintenance art books or anything like that, but they're like super small little books that you can just kind of go through and look and see little character bios. They're pretty cool. I enjoy them.
Not
immensely
everybody's
whenever
got a
I
lot
buy
of money like you, Terrence.
them. Yeah, I'm flush with cash.
Yeah, I'm over here.
Oh, I'm
broke.
sorry. Let me do it the right way.
Thank
I'm
you,
flush
thank you.
with cash. There we go.
I'm sorry. I don't get
What? You
shitty
killed Discord on
wrestling
my end when you
references.
did that.
Good. I'm glad.
Secondly, when you said flush with cash, I unconsciously took my hand to my face
It went
to
back?
until you have to be like, I was like, oh, I'm doing that.
That's right. That's right, dude. That's because John Ralphio is an idol to us all.
Y'all are nerds.
So Jay, since you want to be over here making dumb interjections,
What are you talking about?
what was your first anime?
What are you talking about? I don't make interjections. I am the interjection.
Oh, okay, cool.
My first anime,
Freddie Prinze Jr. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. No, I just wanted to be like you for a second.
I didn't say anything.
Sarah
about
Michelle
Freddie-
Gellar.
I don't even know who that is.
She played Daphne and Buffy.
I'm about to say you're just naming characters on.
Okay.
The Scooby-Doo movie.
Oh yeah, look. Let me tell you something about the Scooby Doo movie.
Andrew Lloyd Webber?
No, Linda Cardellini, still hot.
Is that
She plays in that one show about the psychopath who's like stalking the one girl because she like was going through grief counseling.
The Bodyguard?
No, it's the show that just got a new season on Netflix. What is it called? Hey, lady who likes to interject.
Yes.
What is that show called?
What was it again?
The one on Netflix with Linda Cardellini and the chick from Married with Children.
The Ozarks?
Dead to Me?
Dead to Me. Dead to Me, yeah. She's still hard. Not. Did you say Ozark?
Yeah.
No. Ozark is very good, though.
Adventure Time?
I know Trippy knows who Jason Bateman is, and
Love
we just
Jason
led
Bateman.
with that.
Yeah.
Who the fuck is Jason Bateman?
Okay, what's your first anime?
Alright, so much like you, I'm going to say Sailor Moon is probably the one that I had the most, I guess, relationship with. Like, I watched it the most, I remembered it the most. Like, it had the biggest impact.
Yeah.
But when I was a kid, I knew for a fact, like, when I was little, the two shows I watched the most were Batman the Animated Series and the original Transformers.
Robots in Disguise.
So, like, that was my shit. Like, those were my cartoons. Like, I watched that, like, every day after school and shit. So, yeah, Transformers. You know what the hell it is. Michael Bay ruined them.
Hey,
The first movie's okay.
yeah.
Yeah, and the second movie has that dope Linkin Park song before they stopped
First
being
off,
relevant.
no, because the first two movies have Linkin Park songs that they overplay way too much.
Yeah.
You're talking about New Divide. It's the name of the song. Please recognize it.
Well, that's the second one. The first one was the New Divide was from the second one. The first one was What I've Done.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they made New Divide for Transformers.
Didn't they make What
And-
I've Done for Transformers?
I thought they did like all the music. They actually
I
did
didn't-
all the music for the first two movies.
I didn't think they made it for the first movie. I just thought it was a song they had. Though I do laugh because in my head, like those, like New Divide is like just a shittier version of What I've Done.
Oh, absolutely,
I mean,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Because they
yeah,
sound tonally the same.
I didn't even think New Divide was actually on any albums besides that soundtrack. Versus What I've Done is on
Minutes to Midnight.
Meteor, I believe.
Minutes to Midnight.
Minutes to Midnight.
Yeah.
Oh, is it Minutes to Midnight? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. No, I don't. Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, if New Divide was on something, it was probably one of their albums that we stopped listening to after Minutes to Midnight.
Minutes to Midnight was their last album that I liked all the way through,
Yeah.
and then it was just kind of like, all right, hit or miss
Yeah.
from there.
All right. So Sailor Moon was yours too.
Oh, I mean, yeah, the Sailor Moon, Transformers. You know, I
Moral
definitely saw
needs to be
Transformers
nice.
before, and
Yeah.
Optimus Prime, which
Yeah,
is
but
sad because
that's
I remember.
that gray area though.
Yeah.
Transformers, because like anime, well, Japanese company, but obviously Hasbro.
I
I believe
mean,
it was Hasbro.
I will say, if you're not a big fan of the Transformers, I didn't see it till I was well into my teens, maybe early 20s. Was it 1989 Transformers movie?
Man, that Transformers movie was awesome.
That movie actually is awesome. It is great. They're fighting Unicron. You get Rodimus Prime. It's great. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
It's
Rodimus
cheesy.
Prime is a porn name, and I will
Rodimus
not
Prime.
believe any-
Rodimus Prime is a poor name, and he shows up and he fucks everyone up in that movie. It's great.
As well as you should, first off.
And also, it's got "You Got the Touch," which is one of the best movie theme songs ever.
You got to touch.
It's just called The Touch by Stan Bush.
Oh, Stan Bush is a porn name.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Stan Bush and Rodimus Prime go to town on Vagina Derby.
Please stop. I don't want to hear. I don't need this fan fiction.
The song, it's called The Touch.
I mean, you go and get the touch.
Damn, Transformers the movie came out before we were born. Dude.
Really? I thought it was
It came out
89.
in 1986.
Oh, shit. Way to date us.
I mean, I didn't really date it. So I just said it came out before we were born.
I would
I mean-
never date you guys.
First off, don't lie.
You wouldn't date me,
Yeah, I'm sorry.
piece of trash.
Even if I bought you flowers?
I mean, I'm going to say I have some natural biases I'm working on, and I'm sorry.
What, against black people? That's okay.
No,
You know what? That's
against
good.
dudes.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So
That's
if I
fine.
wasn't a dude, bro, you'd be all like, I want to get in that butthole.
Okay, moving on. So, Pat, what was your first anime?
What was your first
So,
time?
a technicality, Dragon Ball is my first anime.
Ball
However,
or Ball Z?
Dragon Ball.
Okay.
Ball.
Stop it.
Once
Yep, we're holding on to that forever. Every time we get a new subscriber, I want it to say ball.
Ball.
I will make sure to cut that out of my track before sending it to you. Because you cannot be trusted. So, there is the second VHS release of the original Dragon Ball. It's titled The Nimbus Cloud of Roshi. And has 2 episodes. First one matching the title of the tape, and the second one being Oolong the Terrible. And that is technically the first bit of anime I ever watched. At least conscious, like as a conscious viewer, versus maybe I grew up in a house with older brothers. Transformers could have been on at some point. My older brother was definitely into that.
Well, hold on. Because I would imagine, knowing you, did you see Pokemon first?
So no, I did. I did watch Pokemon. Is what I'm going to say is the actual first thing I ever watched.
Okay.
Like I watched as a series, but I did technically see this VHS of Dragon Ball before that.
Okay.
But I never saw any more Dragon Ball after that till way later.
Gotcha.
Pokemon was Pokemon, and then shortly after that, Digimon were appointment television viewing for me.
Yeah.
I would get up every Saturday morning to watch, and then Digimon I watched more in afternoons, except when it came to the new episodes. Once I got caught up on that, one of the few times I've ever recorded something on a VHS was an episode of an important episode of Digimon.
Yeah.
And I remember I didn't do it, but I had I was adamant I had to watch this. I had soccer at the time it was supposed to air, so my mom recorded the episode on VHS for me.
Nice.
But Pokemon and Digimon, Pokemon, I liked Digimon as a show more than Pokemon as a kid.
Yeah.
But I mean, Pokemon is, I would argue, is definitely my favorite, but that has more to do with the franchise as a whole versus the original Pokemon show and the original Digimon show.
Okay.
But, I was young then, so I didn't know, it wasn't recognized as anime. It was just, this is a cartoon that I like. And it wasn't until way later till I, understood what anime was.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I'll say, I think by the time I found out what anime was, I remember it was because I was huge into Dragon Ball Z at this point, but I didn't know it as, anime. And I was at a Food Line of all places, and I used to just buy magazines there all the time, because magazines used to be an actual thing.
Yeah, kids magazines were a thing that you could buy for about $3 to $7 that had pictures.
Information that you can just find out on the internet now.
Yeah, the internet wasn't really a thing. Well,
Yeah.
it wasn't
it was
widespread
a thing. It
then.
wasn't, huge and hugely a part of our lives like it is now. But I used to get it was Beckett's DBZ, and they used to have these old magazines. They used to have a bunch of Dragon Ball Z stuff in it. Yeah,
they had. I remember loving those damn magazines, but they had the cheesiest, horrible art on the front
art
in it.
Yeah,
because
oh
it had that
God.
stupid 3D, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh, it looks so bad.
I still have some of those terrible posters, man.
Oh,
and
some of the posters were dope.
Some of them they looked dope, but they still had that same shitty art.
Yeah.
And I got one day, and then Wizards of the Coast had put out a special edition called Anime Invasion, and it was basically a prototype version of an anime magazine they were thinking of putting out. And I just saw, I believe was it Goku? Yeah, it was Goku on the front of it, and I was like, oh, what was this? It has Goku on the front. What's anime? And I bought that magazine, and I freaking read it from cover to cover. And just pretty much found out about all these other series, and I was reading through that. I found out Sailor Moon was anime, and Samurai Pizza Cats, and this thing called Gundam was a thing. And I started reading through literally every issue of Anime Invasion when it used to come out, and that's pretty much how I just got sunk right into anime. So Dragon Ball Z would probably be the show that I was watching before and after I found out what anime was, which pretty much led me to probably my first actual anime series that when I knew it was probably Tenchi Muyo. I want to say. Yeah, because I think Tenchi was airing on Toonami around the time. So it was either like Tenchi or like Outlaw Star.
Okay.
Yeah, like those two were like probably one of the first two because like Tenchi, I think around the time that I first started getting an anime, it was like, I think Toonami was like Dragon Ball Z, Tenchi.
Hold up, I think I still have it pulled up because I was looking at it a second ago.
Okay, yeah, because I was gonna say like it was like probably like late 2000, early 2001 when like I got into all that stuff. So that was just like a brain explosion to me because finding out like a lot of the series I had already been watching like throughout my whole life were like already a part of this medium.
Was G-Force Guardians of the Space, not the guinea pig movie.
No.
Mobile Suit Gundam Wing, Batman the Animated Series, Tenchi Muyo, Tenchi Universe, Tenchi in Tokyo, which I don't believe that's true. I know Tenchi in Tokyo came out way after Tenchi Universe.
I mean, they probably repeatedly showed it multiple times.
Well, that's
and then
2000 though. And then Blue Submarine #6 and Superman the Animated Series.
Yeah, I would say it could easily be in the end of 2000 because I mean, what Tenchi
but Tenchi Universe is like 50 episodes.
No, it's like 26.
Tenchi Universe is way longer.
Are these the dates of when they came out or when they aired?
This is the Toonami lineup.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it could have existed well before that, but if Toonami got the shows...
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, I don't think they aired that close together.
I think Toonami aired multiple Tenchi series
at
the same time.
Yeah, they did.
Well,
they definitely did at one point.
I mean, this is, like, the first year of Tenchi. Like, 2000 is, like, before I even went into high school. It was 2001 we went into high school, and Yeah, but,
I mean, I think Tenchi would probably been the first one I actually actively, like, watched.
Yeah.
Because I didn't catch too much of Outlaw Star. I didn't finish Outlaw Star until probably like late high school. But yeah, I liked Tenchi a lot. I'll say definitely that, you know, watching it fully grown, it definitely doesn't age well for me personally. But yeah, I fucking at that point that became when it was like, oh man, absorb all I can about anime, and then Skinamax at the time was running. They were running. I think it was Anime Midnights on Mondays, where I saw Ghost in the Shell the first time, Vampire Hunter D, what else?
Pair.
Like Wicked City, Ninja Scroll, a whole bunch of like cool movies like that like are, you know, super like anime classics.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much like where I went immediately when I found out what anime was.
What Stars had Fist of the North Star, and
oh my God, Stars and Fist of the
they
North
had
Star.
Dirty Pair Flash. They had there was some mecha series too. I'm blanking on the name.
I think they played a lot of the Patley boards and stuff like that as well on Stars.
And they had that one where like the guy and there was like a girl who was like a space pirate. She took over a guy's body and she like took
all purpose. Was it? No.
That wasn't Nuka Nuka.
That was Birdie the Mighty.
Yeah, Birdie the Mighty. Because I remember I was really excited because I remember watching that as way younger, and they had that remake newer series that came out like 2010, 2011 that I didn't like that much.
Nah, it wasn't that good. Decode was not that good. The original one was goofy, and they tried to play Decode like too much of an actual series. But yeah, that was pretty much my journey into it. What was like the first one that you found out? Like when did you find out what anime was, and what was like the series that you got into like afterwards?
So, my introduction to actually what anime is probably Toonami as a whole, because I remember the commercials being like straight from Japan or Japanime and blah blah blah. Like,
Japanimation, that a word?
Yeah, I was like now you hear it, it's like, oh, that's kind of cringe because it's so
so 90s.
It's so 90s. It really is. But yeah, like same thing. Tenchi Muyo, I remember seeing it for the first time. Goofy main character. It was my first harem series, which
I think that was like everybody in America.
But it's one of those things where it's like that opened up a whole new world of what anime could be. Because it was my first anime, but it was also my first non-shonen anime.
Right.
Like even Sailor Moon is a shonen series, kind of. I mean,
I mean, yeah.
I would say I'd say
action
it's
kinda, yeah, but it's
yeah
very
action.
with that
Okay, if
love,
you're not going
man.
to call it shonen, would you call it Sentai series? Because they're basically transforming.
I mean, you're not wrong. I wouldn't. That wouldn't have been my jump word to go to for Sailor Moon, but it's not that wrong. It's
I
they
mean,
do transform.
I guess you could
and
say magical
fight enemy of
girl,
the week.
but I don't know. I don't.
yeah, well, yeah,
Oh,
there-
definitely
it's-
magical girl.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
Sentai-
I don't look at Sailor Moon the same way I look at like card captors. Like I
Well,
think
yeah.
they're two very different like feels. Like,
Yeah, but I think the heavy emphasis on romance in Sailor Moon kind of gives it the more
yeah,
the
fair enough.
shoujo
Fair
aspect.
enough. Fair enough.
Yeah,
Well, I think that's also part of the reason Sailor Moon was immensely popular. Was it didn't adhere to a strict genre like that. It was very much there was something there for everybody. So
Yeah.
I think calling it shoujo or shonen isn't technically wrong because it has elements of both in there.
Yeah.
Then the blending of the two is definitely what helped it be popular. I
Yeah.
believe when the manga was distributed, it was in shonen magazines. So I believe I could be wrong there, but so like it definitely has large elements of both.
yeah,
But my whole reason for bringing that up is Tenchi Muyo was the first series that wasn't of that ilk. Like,
Yeah.
there was action, but it was very... Like, the original OVA, I mean, yeah, the first episode you're dodging Ryoko, but nothing else happens till, like, the last episode.
Well, the original. Well, I don't know. I guess it really depends because I know they didn't show a lot of the original OVA on Toonami because there's just stuff they could not show.
Yeah,
but,
there's adulty stuff.
yeah. But yeah,
Yeah,
it
but
gets pretty
it,
action-packed
it's
toward
like
the end.
there's not a whole lot of action. It's more comedy.
Oh yeah,
Like, it's way more comedy than I was ever kind of introduced to. And then, it introduces you to the Japanese cicadas. It
Yeah.
introduces you to the Yahoo!
yo, yeah, I love that sound
Like,
effect.
and I've heard that a million times in other things. So it's
Yeah.
like, it was a big introduction to a lot of anime staples that I've heard and seen a lot of other series. So, yeah.
yeah.
So I was drifting in and out there for a second, and when you did the Yahoo thing, I thought you were trying to do the Yahoo thing.
Oh God, no.
I was
No.
like, what the hell does that have to do with Tenchi?
Nah. It's literally like a shout, a kabuki shout that they used to do
Yeah.
at the beginning of the episodes, like during the title screens.
No, I know. I figured it out. I just literally my brain was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
But yeah. So it was just to give a quick rundown because I've forgotten what you said. You said,
Well, like mine was like Tenchi for like my first Tenchi or All Star for like my first when I knew what an anime was.
right, and so Jay said Tenchi as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Not to make it sound like I wasn't listening. I was listening very much, but
Sure you were.
I wasn't sure if Jay said Tenchi was his or if he was just piggybacking off of you and continuing that.
Oh, gotcha.
That is what I just wanted to make sure because I didn't want to jump and be like, it's my turn. But for me, funny enough, same channel, but I didn't I saw the Toonami stuff for a good bit, but I never I didn't really get into much of that was on there.
Yeah.
I was normally when I got home from school, I wanted to play video games and not watch TV. So most of my TV watching came at the end of the night, and I had a TV in my room. So that means for the longest time, I was watching old-ass Hanna-Barbera cartoons that I loathe to this day because I thought old cartoons sucked as a kid.
Wow.
I hated them so much.
Even Looney Tunes?
Yes, I do not.
Oh, man.
I do not like at all. I always despise them. I was like, I want to watch current cartoons because current cartoons are better.
I disagree, but
And I mean, I as a kid, I think it's a pacing thing. Like, I have a much larger appreciation for older cartoons now.
No, I mean, I get what you're saying. I have the same aversion towards, like, just actual, like, live-action movies. Like, I can't watch, like, older black and white movies just because it feels so dated to me that it's just
Oh, yeah.
kind of hard to watch.
I can understand that.
I mean, even like as a kid, I did not want to watch a television show that was an old cartoon, or if it was like it had real people in it. I didn't know the term live action at the time, so if it had real people or it was old, I didn't want to watch it. So I played a lot more video games and stuff when I got home, and then eventually Adult Swim started, and I would start seeing stuff on there, and big mainstays of Adult Swim, Cowboy Bebop, Full Metal Alchemist are things that I
Family Guy.
saw. Family Guy wasn't there yet. But the one, like, the show that, like, I remember, like, being excited and I having to ask my older brother, being like, what? Like, I don't understand. These shows are different from these shows. Please explain to me why. Because all the American stuff on there was very comedy focused, and then you had these weird, cool action cartoons, but had, very different art styles, very different focus. And he kind of explained to me, oh, well, that's anime. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, that's cool, and I'm 11, I think, at this point, when I'm going to bring up the show that I would say made me a fan of anime. And the age does matter because, 11, you're getting puberty time at that point.
Yeah.
And I remember being excited because I thought all the preview trailers that Adult Swim put out for it were cool as hell. Fully Cooley is like I got to see it at the perfect time for me because it is a coming of age story through and through.
Yeah.
And I was in that period of my life, and I remember I just fell in love with it. My first animated crushes in that show with Haruko. I love that show to death. It was so weird, so unique, and it was funny. It had a cool animation, cool action, great music. It was the full package.
Yeah.
And that was the show I wanted to obviously Cowboy Bebop's there at the time too. But I started my brother was watching that, so Fully Cooley was the first thing I felt oh, this is this is mine. I have ownership over this.
Right.
Kind of thing. Because I didn't know how long he knew about other things, but this is something I watched as it premiered.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure which it was on at midnights, and I'm 11 years old staying until midnight to watch this show.
Yeah.
It felt like something I shouldn't be doing, I shouldn't be watching, which definitely adds its element to it, but that was the show that I was like, oh, anime's cool.
Yeah.
But however, I was still a kid, so the only anime I ever got to watch would be stuff on Adult Swim. So if it wasn't on Adult Swim or Toonami, I just never, it wasn't gonna hove into my media consumption.
Right.
I was a little disappointed that you weren't going from I had puberty and going through this all for the first time. I was really hoping you were going to go, my first crush was Lord Conti. And
Conti was great, but I liked Fully Cooley stuff. I'm still playing on a playground at this stuff, so the imagination stuff I'm doing, I don't have a crush on Conti. I want to be the one, getting in the robot.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I get that. I would say, Fully Cooley, because at that point, I was already trying to absorb as much anime as I could. So I remember they were hyping up Fully Cooley for a while.
I'm pretty sure you were at my house when we watched the first episode together, didn't we?
I think so. Because we watched it, and I remember we were kind of, because it doesn't jump off until, when you're watching the first episode, it doesn't jump off. It just seems like an ordinary, series. So we were watching it, and, they had been hyping it for, weeks at this point. We're watching it, and we're just why is this series so hype? And then that scene where he just is coming home after talking to Mimi, opens the door, and then you get the whole manga panel scene.
Yep.
And the series just fucking
great.
Yeah. It just goes 100 miles per hour after that, and it's holy shit, this series is, it's very different from anything you've seen. It's the most, at that point it had been the most, the Japanese humor type series, because it's definitely a different humor than anything I'd ever seen. So it just jumps off, and you start to get the different kind of comedic timing that anime has that can make so many different series just really hilarious. But that manga scene was our fucking...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like the pinnacle of like.
I'm pretty sure at
scenes for a
some
while.
point we
It's
had
the
that
hook.
damn thing memorized.
Yeah, yeah. Oh man, we definitely had that scene memorized. Yeah, it's the hook. And, like that scene, that like that's what like makes you go, oh, okay, I gotta watch this show. And Fully Cooley, like for being like, it's like locked in as, oh, you're into anime, good. Have you seen the essentials? Because Fully Cooley is one of those like, oh, if you are like literally an anime fan and you ever want to go through and see like some of the series that made anime to like at the point that you're watching what it is, Fully Cooley is one of those series you gotta watch.
Not to mention, if you're new to anime and you're trying to get deep into it, as Pat said, the soundtrack, man, the Pillows did the soundtrack for the whole series.
Yes.
It's fucking great. The intro and outro is fantastic,
And everything in between.
and everything in
Yeah.
between. Yeah, it's just like nowadays it's a lot easier to get into like J-pop and like other like Japanese music
Yeah.
and stuff like that. But like back then, like you would go to Suncoast or Borders and
Yeah.
you'd see 4 CDs. You would see what, 2 Inuyasha CDs, a fucking Pillow CD or Fully Cooley CD, and what?
Sometimes like the Japanese, well, no, it'd be more like the American Dragon Ball Z music on a
Yeah.
CD.
Or maybe the Pokemon soundtrack.
Or the
Hell
Pokemon
yeah.
soundtrack.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Hell yeah.
Pat needs his NSYNC music.
I love not the movie soundtrack, but To Be a Master CD.
Oh,
that
yeah.
has all the songs
To
made
Be
for
a
that
Master.
CD, and I fucking love that CD.
Dude, the Team Rocket song is the best song.
Yep. Team Rocket's great. To Be a Master is great. I listened to that CD a lot as a kid, and every now and then it pops into my head, and I go, I think that's on Spotify, and I'll go listen to it again, and I'm like, oh yeah, I still got all these words down.
Oh hell yeah, dude! You got fucking yeah. Like I'm looking at the soundtrack now. Yeah, it had some like I mean, obviously it has the polka rap on it. Has Viridian City, and then you To Be a Master,
Please tell me,
Pokemon
please tell me it's
Master.
got Brock's song on there.
No. This one has Double Trouble, a Team Rocket one.
Yeah.
Apparently like a dance remix of the Pokemon theme.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just like a whole bunch of random. What kind of Pokemon are you? Yeah, it has like a lot of cool fucking songs.
Yeah, a lot of the songs started getting played like at the back end of episodes and
Oh
stuff.
yeah, I remember
Right.
that.
Yeah, Pikachu's jukebox. That's what it was like at the end of episodes. But yeah, no, that's freaking dope. It is pretty cool to like see like the differences since you got into it like at a later, you know, like probably around the same time of your life, but just at a later date than us. So it's kind of cool like to see like the series that were like there for you.
And so that's, I mean, I also find it interesting because, like, it's my, as I said earlier, like, I only got what Hove didn't, like, if it wasn't on Adult Swim or Cartoon Network in general, I wasn't gonna see it.
Right.
And I would never really had it available to me. Any kind of money I had also kind of went into video games and not, like, that was my main hobby growing up.
Yeah.
So it really, like, I remember, like, I have very specific, like, periods of my life where I was like, okay, this is where a spike of, oh, yeah, anime's awesome happens.
Yeah.
And, like, for some reason, I don't remember why, but, like, around the 2006, 2007 time period, maybe a little later than that, but I was in high school, and I remember specifically two particular animes that, like, I would go to. I know there were multiple of these websites. I know there was one for movies and stuff like that. But it was literally just a black page with all the titles of different things you could stream on there, and then it was like, you know, illegal streaming stuff way back.
Yeah.
I know, but this was the only way to watch like most of these stuff.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And like, so like during that high school period where I started getting like back into anime was Hellgirl and Princess Resurrection. And I just, like, I clicked both shows, like, basically randomly.
Yeah.
And especially Hellgirl fell in love with, because that was, you know, weird and dark in a way that a lot of the stuff that was getting aired on TV wasn't.
Right.
And then Princess Resurrection it's okay, but I liked it a lot at the time.
Yeah.
But I remember that website, like, until I was able to illegally stream anime, I wasn't, I didn't have money to go to the store to buy stuff, and even if I did, like, that shit was expensive, and I didn't want to take a risk on something that, like, well, I could spend 30 to 40 on this DVD of a couple episodes, or I could just buy a game over here for my Game Boy.
Oh yeah, let's hit that subject just real quick. When he says, it was expensive when he was in school and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
Like right now, like whatever prices you can go on the right stuff or Amazon and you see the anime priced at, like you'll get like either the first 13 episodes or a whole series for like $30, maybe. If you get an expensive, more expensive series, it might be like 90 or something like that. Back when we first started getting anime, you could get 3 episodes for like $40 or more, and that'd probably be like the VHS.
Yeah.
And that's not even a DVD. Like, that shit was insane back then.
I remember picking up, Dragon Ball Z on VHS at Walmart for $20 a VHS, and had 2 to 3 episodes on it.
It was crazy. Like, and when you're thinking about it, like, Dragon Ball Z is like 200 something. Like, I think it's like close to 300, if not over 300 episodes. And it's 3 episodes per VHS or disc when you got the DVD version.
I just want to point out that I bought all of Dragon Ball Z when it came out on Blu-ray because I never owned it and I wanted to own it. And I think I spent $130.
Yeah.
I know it was on sale. It was like around Christmas time. But I bought it for like $130, all of it, all the Blu-rays.
And that would have bought you four DVDs back in the day.
That shit wouldn't even got me through the Saiyan Saga.
No, it would have been 12 damn episodes pretty much. Like, that shit is crazy. Like, it's
and then
so
back
much
then
more
there was 2 different versions. There was the cut version and there was the uncut version.
Yeah, like, and that's also how like Adult Swim used to run it too, because they would show Gundam Wing during the day and at night too on the midnight run, and it would be cut during the day, and at night it would be uncut.
Yep.
So crazy.
No, yeah, I mean, again, that like kept me out of it. Like,
oh yeah.
Like I've been steady in it since, but I even went to look back. I was like, when did I really start? Like, when did it finally stick? When did I because I've stayed in it since. Every season I'm checking to see what the new shows are, and I've been that way for 6 years now. 7 years actually. 7 years now I've been doing that, which isn't a crazy amount of time, and like I would have thought it was longer, but going back to date it, like I remember specifically watching Future Diary on Hulu randomly, just being like, oh, this looks weird, I haven't watched anime in a while, I'll watch something.
Yeah. And
there was a bunch of stuff on Hulu that was anime, and I was like, oh, well, what else is there? And then finding out about Crunchyroll, and then I subbed, like, right after watching that stuff on Hulu, I immediately, like, turned and was like, I want to watch more stuff on Crunchyroll. And, like, from that point on, I was just watching stuff as it came out, catching up on old things, and, like, shortly after that, I was going to Otakon and stuff like that.
Yeah, man. I get your struggle. Like, the main thing that allowed me to stay in the anime throughout the whole thing was first, on Comcast On Demand, they had the Anime Network, and it was like literally a little area you could go in on their on-demand section, and they had like the most random anime series that they could just throw in there.
That's how I watched, what's the one where he wanted to be a comic book guy? Comic book man? No, what the hell is it called?
You're talking,
that's a
Comic Party?
Comic Party, there you go.
Comic Party, Comic Party, Steam Detectives. I've seen, like, Night Walker, Midnight Detective. I've seen so many random anime series in my life because of the Anime Network, so I was, like, able to just stay into the medium because, I didn't have to go out and buy, like, super expensive things at that point. I was able to actually just watch it on TV.
Yeah. Streaming changed the game.
Yes, streaming changed the game. But I'll also say, huge bless up to Crunchyroll, because Crunchyroll, I mean, if it wasn't for Crunchyroll, anime wouldn't nearly be at the level it is in America, because they set the game of being able to stream it online, and they picked up all kinds of series, and they made sure they've kept it across all mediums. So, like, a huge bless up to them, because God knows I can't be without Crunchyroll now. I went a couple months
Oh.
at the beginning of like last year without it because just complications with the account, and it sucked. It sucked horrible.
And it's funny too because like Crunchyroll went from being illegitimate and being I'm illegally streaming these animes to going legit and making all these deals and actually being something that could help the industry out beyond just an awareness kind of thing.
Yep.
Like, and it's crazy to think of like there was like it was really good for a while, but like there was a period where it blew up and Crunchyroll was the main thing, and then you started having everybody else get in the game and everything separated, and then they were like, well, this is why shit fell apart in the first place because it got too expensive. So they like all kind of were like, these are our niches, let's fill them. And then that fell apart again. We're kind of getting back to like, hey, you need 3 to 4 services, but it's still, even that is a lot better than what it used to be.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, like even like I know Fully Cooley again. One of the reasons like I stayed away is I wanted that on DVD, and that was 3 DVDs for 6 episodes. And I was like, this is a scam. What the hell?
Yeah, dude. Like back then, it was so hard to like before like the Anime Network and stuff like that to like get more series because then obviously if you didn't have like a DVR or something back in the day, then hell, if you missed an episode, oh well, fuck you, because you might have lost a big chunk of plot. Who knows?
Yep.
But, all right, and that will move into our last topic. What anime series made you a fan of the genre? It was like, okay, I'm in. Like, what was like fully like, I'm in? Because I think anybody that knows me knows mine is Cowboy Bebop. Like, when they premiered Cowboy Bebop, I want to say it premiered like after an episode of like Space Ghost Coast to Coast. And I was like watching Space Ghost, and then they said like a new series was gonna premiere. And I want to say it was like a Sunday night. It was something like that, but they showed it, and then literally the first thing you see in Cowboy Bebop is Spike freaking practicing his Jeet Kune Do, and then Jet shows up and then flicks a cigarette, it floats through space, Spike grabs it and starts smoking, and I'm just like, all right, I don't know what this is, but I'm automatically in. This is the dopest shit I've ever seen. And from there, I freaking just fell in love with Cowboy Bebop. And I was like, man, anime is like different shit. And then, anybody who would ever listen, I'd be like, hey, man, you ever see that Cowboy Bebop? Hey, man, you ever watch Dragon Ball Z? Hey, man, you ever watch this other anime? And at that point, I just became it's one of the reasons why I don't call, we proudly wear the title of like otaku or weeaboo or whatever the fuck you want to call it. Like, it's because we became advocates at that point for me. That was what made me an advocate for the genre.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, I guess me. That's kind of hard because I would say it's one of two things. Dragon Ball Z is the first show that I ever fanboyed for.
Yeah.
Probably the first
Ditto.
thing I've ever fanboyed for. Like, not show, like movie, anything, any medium. I was like, oh, hell yeah. Just watching Goku go Super Saiyan for the first time against Frieza. Like, I remember being young and just being like, yes. Now, I don't know if that's what sold me on the medium, but that's definitely the first show that I was like, yes, Dragon Ball Z is the shit, Goku's the shit, Gohan's awesome, Piccolo's awesome. These fights are great, the action's great. But if I was to pick, like, the show that sold me, it would be Trigun.
Yep. I knew that was where you were going.
I mean,
I knew it.
Because Trigun, I identify with Trigun so much because the characters, like the fact that he has his
dilemmas.
Huh?
The moral dilemmas and stuff.
The moral dilemmas, the fact that he was like the fact that he was a pacifist, didn't want to kill anybody, and he would always do his best not to hurt anybody. I was like, that's the kind of shit that I was like, that's amazing. Like, I like that. And then, Wolfwood is one of my favorite characters of all time. And part of the reason why is because his evolution. It was the first time as a young adult that I saw true evolution in a character. Like, their actual moral compass changed because of how they felt about someone else. And that's when I was like, this is how storytelling is done.
Yeah.
This is I can't, this is what it's all about. Like,
yeah.
That's when I was like, all right, the art is great. It's, it's very unique, it's action-packed, it's funny, it's goofy, and the fights are awesome. Like, the fucking episode, what is it, episode 13, 14, Diablo, when you see Vash sitting there in the dark and his eye is glowing.
Yes.
And then, like, the next scene comes in, like, Millie comes in and she's like, oh, God. And then he just looks up and he smiles like nothing happened, but you could tell, like, the intensity in his mind. It's like, like, that was the first series that kind of hit all notes for me. And I was like, all right, this is hands down. It will probably always be one of my favorite shows.
Yeah. Yeah, Trigun is so freaking classic. I will echo what you said, man. That show had a huge impact, and again, that's another show where, just like Cowboy Bebop and Fooly Cooly, as Pat mentioned, and the Trigun goes along with it. With like, man, the music is great from start to finish in all the radio shows. Like, just awesome.
And as you were saying, like talking about shows you would show someone, I feel like that whole era of Adult Swim was just like so instrumental in anime over here that like almost all those shows are worth being like, oh, you need to watch this, you need to watch that. Like, I mean, I know Full Metal Alchemist is now looked upon not nearly as well as it was when it originally aired, because you have Brotherhood being much better. But even though that, like, Full Metal, like, in middle school, like, most of the people I talked to in middle school knew Full Metal Alchemist, and I was like, like, what the hell? I would kind of, like, I was never the biggest Full Metal Alchemist fan because of it, and I kind of bumped things more like, oh, no, I think Cowboy Bebop's better, I think Trigun's better, I think Fully Coolly, like, is hella cool, and it's only 6 episodes.
Yeah.
So you don't have to, like, that was the hardest thing, being young, like, I didn't see... It was hard to watch a full series because I had to fight to stay awake that long.
Yeah.
And, like, so, like, it was the longest time before I ever saw all of Cowboy Bebop through in order, all of Trigun through in order. But
sorry. Speaking of Bebop, Terrence's favorite series of all time is Cowboy Bebop.
Yep.
And I ruined the end of the show for him, the last episode, because he'd never seen Real Folk Blues Part 2. And this is, mind you, this is like 3-4 years after the series has been over.
Yeah.
But he just never seen the last episode, and I just happened to see it, and I knew it was his favorite series, so I went to talk to him. I think we were at Borders at the time.
We were at Borders.
And I was like, dude, it's so fucking cool, but dude, like when
blank.
Yeah, when blank happens.
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit. Like, what the? And you were like, what?
And I was like, but blank happens? Oh, now I remember exactly why we got on the topic, because that was like when the manga started coming out.
You're right, and the manga had nothing to do with anything.
Yeah, the manga had nothing to do with anything, but like, I was like, so I saw it, so I was like, oh, I want to fucking buy it. And I assumed it was just going to be like a retelling of the series, so it was going to be like my chance to like actually watch the ending, because, I didn't have DVR, and I was working on Saturdays, so by the time it came on, like at night, I was usually like passed out or hanging out with friends or something, so I just always happened to miss the last episode. And then Jay just happened to like mention something that happens critical in the last episode. And I was like, oh no. I was like so mad. I was like, oh. But,
that just came on the spot.
That just goes to show how close we are, that I ruined your most favorite thing in the world.
Of course.
And we're still best buds.
Yep.
Like 15 years later.
Absolutely. I don't still hold a grudge against that and want to do something horrible to you on your wedding day.
That's probably the reason why I've had so many issues with my health. You've probably been slowly poisoning me.
Slowly poisoning you? I've been giving you bigger amounts of poison than you're supposed to have. It's just that you're part Irish, so you have that weird, immunity to things, or like,
Yeah.
It
that
sucks.
Thing. Sorry, Pat. I didn't mean to disrupt you.
No, you're good. I don't even remember what I was saying.
That probably wasn't important.
So what was the series that was like, because it probably is Fully Coolly for you too, but what was the series that was like, okay, I'm all in on anime?
So that's the thing. Like, if for me, the all in point would be like, I'm going to cons now and stuff.
Yeah.
And the show that would do that it's not a question at all then, it's Orimo. Like, I would
Really?
never be like, yeah, like it. I would never be like it's the greatest anime ever. But it was like I was so invested in that story,
Yeah.
and like Otakon had the world premiere of like the last 3 episodes,
Right.
before they were going to be on anything else, including even Japan.
Yeah.
And I was like, I have to go to that. Like, I want to know how this ends. I have to go. So I went and saw that. And I believe at that same Otakon, they also I had been watching. I had watched Ava at this point, and I had been watching the first 2 movies, and they were showing the 3rd movie at Otakon as well. So I was like, oh, I also got to see that. But the number one thing that like I was there for, and I still have the poster from the event, is for the finale of Arima, which I still hold up as like it is. I would clarify it as a harem anime because there are multiple female characters interested in the main character, but there's a decision made at the end.
Yeah.
And most harem anime I had watched up to that point or have watched since don't give you any kind of conclusion. So to get a conclusion out of it, and like it's still I in my mind that is the one. Like if I never had watched that, I probably wouldn't be watching anime. Like I have to before the season's ending, being like, oh, okay, what are we getting? What's coming out next season that even sounds remotely interesting that I'm gonna watch like the first episode of?
Yeah.
Like if it like. I don't know. It's like that's the one, and it's again, if someone would be like, "Oh, give me a list of anime I gotta go watch," that probably doesn't come to my mind.
Mm-hmm.
But it is definitely like in my like it would make a top 5 favorite anime of mine. It's gonna be competing for a spot there.
Oh wow. Like, because I know, like. For Remo, like I remember watching it, and I was definitely like invested in the characters. But I guess by that point, I don't know. I guess it was because maybe when you've discussed the series before, so there's definitely a hard point. Because I guess I'm not gonna spoil it what it was, but there's a hard point when he makes a decision not to choose one person that I was just like, all right, fuck this series. In my eyes, I was just like, I was just like so done at that point. I was just like, I remember watching the rest, but I was just like, eh.
Yeah, I'll agree with you there. And not to mention, I'll also say this. I think the show was good up until that point. At least tolerable up to that point. No, I'll say good. But I think at that point, me and Terrence were more desensitized to that style of show.
Oh, yeah.
Because we had seen a bunch of other shows like that.
Sarah Celestial Angel.
Yeah, and
any harem anime because it's usually that character.
I mean, shit. Like you say, Orimo is great, and I think the art style is good. But if you want to go an older show that I think also is just as twisted, and has a good ending, I'd say Shuffle. But like I said, we've seen shows like that before, so that's probably the reason why it has a much more impact on you.
Yeah.
But I agree. The show is gorgeous.
Yeah.
The wrong choice was made, but
I mean, I wasn't excited about who gets picked at the end either. But like, I had seen some harem before, and I've seen a lot since, and it still stands out that this show like
had a choice.
Like, there's like. Every other show's like, oh, most people end up happy, or nothing is ever like the status quo doesn't get broken, and this show at least makes the point to go, and the main character deals with the repercussions of turning down every other character in the show.
Fair enough.
And I want that so bad. Like every other show, it's like, oh, I like all these characters, and I don't want to like watch them all get their heart broken, but at the same time, like. When there's no finality and no choice and no conclusion, it makes everything else is just like.
I agree.
I mean, it's emotional blue balls. Like you don't get the release of someone's picked and there's a conclusion.
Yeah, no, and I know it was like an issue because it's something that we discussed when we used to live together. But like I said, for me, at that time, it became. I guess it's more acceptable because I'd already, seen so many shows that didn't have endings like that. And if it was a really good series like School Rumble or something like that for me, it was just like, oh, well, holy shit, is the manga done? And if it was, I'd be like, oh, well, I'm just going to go read the manga to find out what happened at the end.
And
I remember, like you'll do it now, but your argument back then was like, I shouldn't need to do that. Like they should just finish it. Which you're right.
I agree.
Yeah, they should have just finished it.
It's funny that you bring that up because I was gonna say that there's only really been one harem show that I think I've even come close to liking as much as I liked Remo, and that was Quintessential Quintuplets.
Oh, yeah.
And that, as you said, I eventually reached my breaking point of I have to go read this because it seems like this might actually go to a conclusion, and I need this conclusion.
Yeah.
I don't know if there'll be more of this, and I will lose my mind. And there is, the manga has, or it's close to ending if it hasn't already, but he has made a choice at this point in the manga, and it deals with it, and it's getting another season, so I'll be excited to watch it represented in anime form. The other one, not a harem so much as it is definitely a drama and romance with domestic girlfriend. Also captivating, and the other one I went was I have to go read the manga now because this also seems like it's going somewhere.
Right.
Yeah. And both are shows I highly recommend. But literally, those are Sensorimo, the two romance shows. I was oh, I'm really invested in this, and I think it's worth going out of my way to try and get the conclusion because they're going to try and provide one.
Right.
yeah.
Which I believe you brought up Shuffle before. Shuffle, I believe, has an ending. He
Yes.
picks there, and that was always one given to me. And I think the supernatural element of it always kicks me back out of it a bit because I was I just want a romance. And
so you didn't finish Shuffle?
I don't know. I think I've tried to start Shuffle 3 different times, and
I will
only get an episode or two in.
I will tell you this because I know I can feel Jay wanting to say it too. It's Shuffle was one of those series where it felt so generic at first, but oh my god, once it gets to the halfway point,
I don't even know if you need to get to the halfway point. It's
Yeah.
episode 7 or 8.
Yeah.
The trigger is pulled and
Yeah.
the whole story changes.
Yeah, the whole story changes,
and it's
it becomes
oh
a
my
different series.
god, this is amazing.
Yeah, Pat, think of it as the way that Charlotte was for me. I couldn't get past it in the beginning because it seemed so generic, and then there's just that trigger that gets pulled, and you're like, oh, okay, this is a different series than I thought it was. So, yeah, that's kind of how I would say Shuffle is. It's like Charlotte. It has a certain trigger point where it's oh, this is a different series. I'm really into this right now.
And
I mean, again, nothing against it. It's something, again, I've tried, and I certain number of episodes, if I'm not in, I have a hard time pushing past.
Yeah.
Attack on Titan is a similar one for me where everybody's, you got to get to this episode at least before you quit it on it. I was like, I do not. I don't have to do anything.
I don't disagree. I think the first season of Attack on Titan is extremely overrated and okay at best.
That's nonsense.
And then the second season shows, and lo and behold, they found the plot. And the story showed up, and I was like, oh, this is good. And then that's when the popularity kind of started dwindling a little bit. It's y'all motherfuckers are leaving when the story shows up? Come on. I watched Attack on Titan in season 1 twice, and I was like, there's cool stuff in here. It's different, it's interesting, but it's not good.
I think it was interesting enough because as I always saw it, I saw it as a different take on the zombie invasion.
I mean, yeah, but I can't I know there are characters in the show, and I know the names of the characters in the show, but outside of Potato Girl and the scientist chick, those are the only two characters in the show I actually like.
Sasha and Renge, I believe their names.
Yeah, I Aaron, no, I don't care. Armin, no, I don't care.
But see, Aaron's just that.
I don't care about any of the characters.
Yeah, well, I don't know
any of the main characters.
And I get that. It's because Attack on Titan, for what it is and the way it looks, it's actually a really generic shonen anime. So it takes a lot to build up a lot of those characters to become oh, you're awesome. Because it's kind of like You take Krillin in the beginning of Dragon Ball. He's just kind of the annoying side character, but Krillin actually becomes pretty freaking awesome, especially by the time the Saiyan saga
Yeah,
hits.
but he has personality things that make him interesting.
Yeah.
He's the rival.
Bald.
He farts in the fucking
being
dude's
bald,
face.
really? Yeah. Well, yeah, but he's comedic. And that in Dragon Ball is presented as a comedy. Attack on Titan tries to be deadly serious most of the time.
Yeah.
So it's you don't really get to see you get hints in like the end. No, it's definitely like in the second season where you get to see Armin is like, oh, Armin, you're actually super smart and you're like really good at strategizing and stuff like that. And it takes a long time, like I said, because it's a shonen burn.
And I get it. It's just, it
didn't.
It was extreme. As Pat said with Full Metal Alchemist, it was extremely hyped.
Yeah.
And I watched it, and I was just like, I don't get it. It's okay. It's bloody. It's different. I guess, like, also Game of Thrones was big at the time, so I was like, oh, so this is cool because it's gory.
Well, to me, it was the reason why...
And I say that as someone who likes Game of Thrones, by the way.
Yeah. To me, it's different because around the time that Full Metal Alchemist blew up, there was nothing else like it.
Yeah.
And when Attack on Titan blew up, there was no other shows like it whatsoever.
I mean, yeah.
So, like, that's why it blew up, because it was different. And when anime starts to get, repetitive, like, right now, there's a bunch of isekais coming out every season. So that's why anything that's not an isekai stands out more. And eventually you'll have those breakout hits. And that's kind of what happens. There's just always just that one, that breaking anime that kind of just sticks out because of, everything else that's out.
It was weird because it just felt like it. When I think anime, I think about like the pantheons, like the anime that everyone fucking knows, like Dragon Ball Z, Sailor Moon, stuff like that.
Right.
It was like you fucking walk into Walmart and there's fucking shirts that have Attack on Titan on. It's like, why is this here? Why isn't there a Dragon Ball Z shirt here? Like, what the fuck? I
mean, yeah, but it's literally that breakthrough anime. It's like, for how we were saying, this is the series that got me into anime.
I mean,
that's what Attack on Titan is for, like a whole different generation. Dude.
I just like now, after watching season 2 and 3, like I could be like, okay, I get it. But back then, when it was just season 1, and then 3 years later you got season 2, or fucking 5 years later you got season 2, however long it was, I just don't get it.
Well, I mean, like I said, it's just to me, it's kind of like, when people are like, oh, you like My Hero? Well, it's not as good as Naruto. And it's like, and then you'll have the people who will be like, oh, you like Naruto? It's not as good as Dragon Ball Z.
Well,
and everybody has their
that
thing,
way.
When it comes to the super popular ones.
But I don't see it that way, because, like, when you say Naruto is better than My Hero, I disagree. But I think they're both... they're both good on about the same level.
But it's putting something on a pedestal that you were super hype into.
Yeah, but I guess I don't understand putting that series on a pedal. Like, in particular.
Yeah, but people put Naruto on super high pedal.
You're right. I think Naruto is...
Naruto was good. You're correct.
Naruto was great until the last third.
If you mean by last third, you mean when it started to become Shippuden, yes, you're correct.
No, I think it was good up until the pain fight. And there was some boring shit that happened in the middle.
I'll give you that.
But up until the Pain fight, it was good. If they would have ended the series with Naruto beating Pain and becoming the hero of the
series,
I was just like, all right, that's it's not the best ending, but I can see that being a solid ending. And then they just kind of went ham. But we're not going to get into a Naruto argument right now.
Yeah, just saying. Naruto's a series where it's called Naruto. It's all about Naruto, and the best fight is by Shikamaru. So there you go. But so that
okay, I'm gonna jump in here now then.
Yes.
I didn't want to talk during that because my computer tried to sleep and it stopped my recording. But I've turned it back on, but we want to resync it, so I didn't want to make it hard to resync, so I stayed quiet during that back half of that dialogue.
Okay.
So we have this now. You can obviously cut all this out if you want to, or everybody can listen to it. But I do need to. You probably need me to clap again.
Yeah.
3 times.
All right, Dan. Give me 1 second. All right, go ahead. Excellent.
There we go.
And we'll do that at the 114 mark. So I'll set that up for myself. So I have it.
There's a nice clean break there. It was only stopped for a couple seconds, but at least you know where to get this second piece synced back up.
Yeah, that's cool. Excellent. All right. So did you hear everything we were saying though?
Oh yeah, I heard it all.
Okay.
I really wanted to jump in too because like Jay's bringing up that it was Full Metal was for me like. Attack on Titan is the only other show in my head is that same as like Full Metal. I was like where everybody when everybody was into it, I was like I just don't get it. Like I'm normally fine with shitty main characters.
Yeah.
And I'm not, I mean, it's first episode stuff, but like when everything goes wrong in the first episode, I was like, ha, good. Like, and I'm never like that. That's
Right.
not how I watch it. Like, I normally watch and I was like, I want to get emotionally invested, and Attack on Titan just couldn't do it for me.
No, I get that.
I mean-
Like that's how I am with Sword Art. So
Yeah.
I get where y'all are coming from. Like I enjoyed the first half of Sword Art, and then the whole second half of the season when it went to like Elfheim just fell apart.
Fun stuff. To me, the most compelling stuff in Sword Art is the stuff with his sister. And then, to me, the best thing Sword Art related at all isn't Sword Art main series, but the Gun Gale Online side anime. Way better. I think it's way better.
Yeah, I gave in at like the halfway point of season 2. So after they literally did the whole Gun Gale part of season 2, I didn't like watch the last half of that after Kirito like came back. And that's mainly just because I don't like Kirito as a character. I think the fact that it's one of the things that really ticked me off was because it's always something I didn't like about Sword Art, but people made a bigger deal about it when it happened in I guess Alicization. That's what the new one's called, right?
Yeah.
When it happened in Alicization, like there was a scene where it looked like these 2 girls were about to get raped, and I'm like, and people started making a big stink out of it. I'm like, what are you talking about? This is something that happens in literally every season of Sword Art.
Yeah.
Like it almost happens at the end with freaking Asuna the first season. Almost happens to Sino in the freaking second season. I'm like, this is like, it's always one of the things that's like, this series is just super creepy with it, and it just always
disagree.
like sat weird, and because it felt forced and out of nowhere.
Yeah, like it was a weird way to create drama.
Exactly.
Like, and it's like there's certain, I don't want to say tropes, but like certain things that can be done well.
Yeah.
And the show is just like, there's no nuance, no anything to it. It's like, oh, rape might happen.
Yep.
And it's like, it's always like, where is this coming from?
Yeah.
And it never feels earned.
No,
And
it's always just literally
value.
shock. Exactly. Best way to put it. It's shock value for the sake of shock value, and that it's just like there's so many other series that do crap like that, and it's like, yeah, that's when I pretty much will lose interest in it, because it just literally has no bearing on the story. It's just there for a crutch I can't find a way to build a drama naturally. So hey, here's something that'll shock you into thinking everything's more serious than it is.
Where I do agree with you in the fact that is kind of a shock value that doesn't necessarily need to be done.
Mm-hmm.
I will say the animation team did an amazing job doing those scenes, because the twisted faces that they
Right.
did on them, like when they went their like dark side, like it was very much like, oh shit, like you guys put the effort to make it, like you made
As
the effort
creepy
to
as
make this
possible.
look as dark as you possibly could.
Which to me just made it even more unappealing. That I get, and I understand that it's good, that they give you that sick feeling, but to me it was like, all right, it's my turn to bow out,
And-
I can't deal with this anymore.
I mean, I think Alicization is fantastic. It's way better than anything that's gone before it.
but
I know you don't need to watch 2 seasons
Exactly.
of something to get to that.
yeah, so that's the
But
whole thing.
I've been watching it since the beginning, and I have no real issue with the whole series.
Yeah.
I won't put it in my top 20 anime, but
Right.
I mean, I've been watching it for a while, and Sword Art Online Abridged is the thing that kind of kept it alive for me, because it would put out, well, I think it's Something Witty Entertainment does it. Like they put out like an episode like every 6 months, so I was like, every time I would be like, oh, I forgot the show existed. It would pop up like, oh, dude, now I kind of want to watch that episode where he dual wields for the first time, because that was kind of cool.
Yeah, no, and I like I said, I get what you mean. Like, there's definitely shit that you can go back and Sword Art and watch, and it's really fun. But like you said, you shouldn't have to watch 2 seasons to get to like the really, really good stuff. And that's the same thing with me telling Pat to watch Attack on Titan, or you would watch Attack on Titan. It's like, oh, you should watch it. It actually gets really good. Oh, when does it get good? Never mind.
I mean,
don't even worry about it.
Like I said, like when we first started talking about Attack on Titan, the first season, it felt like what you were talking about. It felt like a bunch of shock moments. Like, oh, these things are just eating people, and there's blood and guts everywhere. And I'm like,
I agree with that. You're right. You know
like,
what?
There's literally nothing happening in the show. Oh,
Yeah.
spoiler, he turns into a Titan. And
there's new giant
yeah,
monsters.
there's goofy looking derpy dudes running around eating people. Like, all right.
That was part of it too to me. I was like, why is like this is such a weird hurdle to put in your like show? And I was like, why does this not like everybody else is totally willing to buy into this and I don't understand why. This is so dumb.
It was dumb. I guess the weird thing is like, because it was creepy and unsettling and it gave you a sense of hopelessness, especially like in the first episode where you first see the colossal titan just appear over the wall and how freaking like huge he has to be. So I guess it just gives you like that scale of hopelessness. That's why I kind of got into it, because it was like, oh shit, like how are they going to get out of this situation? But
first off, you
like
need to shush. The only reason why people liked Attack on Titan is because the opening theme song of the first season was amazing.
I mean, it was a banger. I'm not gonna
lie.
Hey, do the bodega?
Yeah.
I agree. The song was definitely a banger.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing can take that away from it.
Oh yeah.
But it, like at least with, like again like with Sword Art and stuff like it wouldn't the first two seasons wouldn't crack a top 50 anime kind of thing for me. To me they're okay. I don't hate it. I get why people like that at least. But the one thing I'll really give it a lot of credit, I like the worlds they built. I thought the games and the universe themselves seemed very interesting, and it's part of the why I watch, despite not really liking everything past the end, even some of the stuff in the second season of Sword Art.
Yeah.
Why I was excited to see the Gun Gal Online, because I was like, well, this is everything I don't like about Sword Art is not here. So I was like, let me get, fingers crossed this is actually a story I do like a lot better. And I did. Like, I think there are some shows like that I just don't like. I don't like for certain things like for Attack on Titan, like a spinoff wouldn't interest me in that either, just because I find the whole setup is what gets me there.
Yeah.
And again, that I was never rooted against the main character so hard in the first episode of the show.
So mean. Like I will say, I know from what I've heard that like a lot of the spin-offs from Attack on Titan are actually pretty good, because and like I said, it's not something I could ever tell you to like go into, but when you start learning about like some of the side characters like Levi and Mikasa's like backstories, like it's such cool things, and you actually get like a spin-off series about like Levi's childhoods and stuff like that. But yeah, anyway, those are conversations for another day. We could do a whole podcast on Attack on Titan or Sword Art between all of this, honestly, because I'm pretty sure I know, but I'm saying I'm pretty sure we all have enough to say about those series that we could fill like a whole freaking episode.
We
about
could.
it.
It's already been like 30 minutes.
Yeah, I know. We've definitely done at least 20 minutes on it now.
I'm gonna say like this, you gotta like this was literally just me like what got us into anime, and now we got a nice back half attachment of, and also these shows that we think are kind of dumb.
Yeah, pretty much. All right, so I guess we'll get ready to wrap it up here. All right, so obviously you are watching this probably on our YouTube page, youtube.com/notyouraverageotaku. But as I said earlier in the podcast, you can also catch us streaming Monday through Friday on Twitch at twitch.tv/NYAO Live. You will catch Patrick, the Frizzly Bear, for right now. While we're still in lockdown, he'll be streaming Monday through Fridays, 12 p.m. EDT to 3 p.m. EDT, and then again at 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. And you can catch the Anime J, and sometimes I will drop by that one on Saturdays, usually around in between 9 and 10 p.m. Until around about midnight. And also, if you'd like to, you can follow us on our social medias. You can find me on Twitter at TrippyHaps and the channel at NYAO_official. Where can they find you at, Jables?
You can find me at The Anime J at Twitter and on Instagram. Basically, everything's The Anime J. You want to find me? Look it up. The Anime J.
For me, it's the Frizzly Bear, no spaces. Frizzly spelled Furizzly. And similar to Jay, that is me everywhere. The gamer tag, Twitter, Facebook, Tumblr, dating websites. You want to find me? That's how you find me.
I'm going to find you.
And
I'm going to get you on OkCupid, boy.
Oh, God. And if y'all feel so inclined, if you would, Give us a subscribe, a like, or if you go over to our Twitch page, give us a follow. Maybe subscribe there if you really like us. And in the comments below, please tell us about your first anime series. What got you into anime? What made you aware of it? What made you a huge fan? Drop a comment down below. And
Also, how do you feel about Attack on Titan?
Sword Art. Yeah, just blow the comments up.
Yeah.
Let's see it.
Blow it up like a bathroom.
I think that's mostly about it. Anybody got any closing statements?
Y'all are beautiful.
No.
No, that's it. Y'all are beautiful. That's it. So, y'all have a great day. Bye, bees.
Bye.
Bye.